Good morning and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast Show. I'm Patrick Soko and with
my name is Sharon. My name is Sharon Kalimbla. Thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. We are back again on your screens, and like I always say, when you see us, you know that we are about to go down into the nitty-gritties of what's happening in the country. We will be looking at various stories as usual. We'll look at the money markets. We'll look at the health corner as well, and we'll bring you Morning Boost. Remember that this is a revised Morning Boost, and it's looking very good. It's actually being done right in the studio just to help you kickstart the day on a healthier note. Remember, Patrick always reminds us to say non-communicable diseases need to be fought by doing at least simple exercises. The very first thing you when you wake up, at least, okay, when you wake up first thing, you pray, thank God for life, and then you can hit the road, or you can follow us on Camnet TV and do these exercises that we bring to you in about 5, 6, 7 minutes, Patrick.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we just have to change the attire and do what is necessary.
But you know, one of the people that really need gym here, Prudence Church. I'm not going to say more. I'll just end there.
Yeah, we can end there because we're seeing that she has actually outshined everyone in terms of ballooning.
In terms of and you know, anyway, we shouldn't go there. Let's look at the morning post from Chosi Gym, just right here in Kablonga. Let's follow this.
Hello, my name is Arson, aka the Fitness Puppy. We are here at Chosi Fitness Gym in conjunction with the Camnet TV, and today we are going to do abs. We are going to do sit-ups. Get ready, we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Going 40 seconds. $30 seconds. Let's go. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cut. Okay, so next one, just stand straight. Let's go, elbow to knee. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Both sides. Go. 40 seconds. Let's go. 30 seconds. Keep going. 20 seconds. 15 seconds, let's go. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and quit. Okay, next one, we're doing a toe touch. This is probably the last exercise. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep going. 40 seconds. $30 seconds. Come on. Let's go 20 seconds. 15 seconds. Let's go. 10 seconds. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and quit. Okay. Lastly, we are going to stretch. Okay. We're starting with the cobra stretch. Let's go for a minute. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and we go. Let's go. This is what we call cobra stretch. It's a type of stretch that will stretch almost every part of your body parts. Let's go. Stretch the lower back, shoulders, legs, including glutes. Let's go. We have 30 seconds. Let's go. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and quit. Okay, you've been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy. Until next time, bye-bye.
There you have it from Chozi Gym, just closer to our offices right here in Kabulonga area. And if you need to do those exercises, you can just chip in to their gym, have a conversation with them, do agreements here and there, pay your subscription if there's need, and start working out your muscles. Remember that keeping fit is not necessarily building those muscles, it's not necessarily losing that weight, it's not necessarily gaining that weight, but just keeping fit so that you're able to run. Panondine, I can't run. I'm going to be very honest with you, Patrick. I really can't run because I don't remember the last time I did that. I think another example, you know the one who failed recently. Yeah. After just trying to do because the foot was not supporting the body.
But I'm trying to organize something like a sports day here on Camnet where we can do
we had started
flexible exercises. Yeah, we can equally engage the gym there to help us with some. I
think we can do that.
Some techniques there. We can do that because at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we take health issues seriously. In that, like you said in your preamble, non-communicable diseases are real. Yeah. And if you are not exercising, your immune system becomes weak. And that gives prominence to any small diseases that
even just have no stretching your hand, like while stretching your muscles, sometimes your hand can even swell. Yeah. Unnecessarily. Those are necessary things, really. Yes. But if you're exercising, your muscles are flexible, you can stretch however you want to.
Yeah, because even last time when I was not feeling good, I was advised to say, you hardly do exercise. You do a lot of sitting and stressing your mind, especially when you are thinking about the intros. So, but I realized to say, health and work go in tandem. So you have to make sure you cannot work if you are not fit. No. So you have to make sure that you always strive to be proactive with your health. You don't have to go for a medical checkup only when you are very terminally ill, because sometimes it may have gotten out of hand in terms of managing the situation. So you'd rather go early, so that the early diagnosis in every disease is important. Even when we talk about matters pertaining to HIV, Sharon, because this month on the 1st of December, we're marking the World AIDS Day. We look at issues pertaining to early detection. So if the virus is detected at an early stage, it is easy for you to achieve viral suppression, in that they will be able to administer the medication that would make you live normal, and the virus will become undetectable to a point that you cannot even transmit it to another person. So, but if you have to wait until things go worse, this is where we see sometimes others are dying because they're trying to avoid. So you end up collapsing, like you were saying. Even the issues pertaining to the heart, we need to protect the heart. How do you protect the heart? Exercise. Do things regularly, so that you burn some fat. So I think this is a good program, Sharon. We need to embark on. We make sure that we do that, because we have to save each other. I have to save Elijah, save Malundu, save Munungwe. So it's a collective effort that we have to make. Even it starts at company level. It starts at family level, at company level, at community level. Everywhere you have to do these things. You understand, right? Families are nation, and the second families we have, like when you work, is the place of work. Because we spend most of the time, more than we spend with our families at work. About 8 hours. It's not a joke. And what's talking about health? What do we have?
Indeed, let's look at what the doctors have brought for us, talking about health, and thereafter we continue the conversation. This is the Breakfast Show. The topic is scrolling on your screen. You may start to prepare those questions and those contributions regarding the changes that have been made to our NAPSA contributions. Yesterday, if you are not aware, President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA assented to the pensions scheme bill, and it became law, and you and I will be able to get partial, what do you call those? Partial benefits, and also another thing that was
not for buying Brazilian.
No. But anyway, let's look at the doctors and what they've brought for us, and thereafter we will delve into this morning's conversation.
My name is Ebedi Sadoki. I'm a public health specialist, and today I'll continue talking to you about mental health awareness, and we'll talk about common triggers of mental health. By this, I mean, what do we do that can cause us to have mental health disorders? So I'll talk about three main groups. The first one, I'll talk about losses. When we incur a loss and we don't handle it properly, it can cause us to have mental health disorders. So by losses, what do I mean? There's loss of loved ones, a close relative dies, or loss of property, employment, or anything that is so dear to our livelihood. And the other loss is also loss of a body part. This is in times where maybe illness has caused you to have maybe a gangrene in the leg, and then it has to be removed, and that also makes people feel sad. Some with breast cancer, when they lose a breast, it causes them to really have this trigger to mental health illness. Then the second one is about abuse. Under this, I'm talking about sexual abuse, including children, and gender-based violence. So if not handled properly, it can trigger an individual to develop a mental disorder. Then the third one will be substance abuse, which under this we have alcohol and other substances. So when not handled properly, when there's excessive substance abuse, it can lead us to have mental illnesses. So I'll give a few examples, like on the sexual abuse. I think I spoke a little bit more on the losses, but on sexual abuse, if somebody experiences that sexual abuse and it's not handled properly, this could be a child who might not even have a time to talk to an adult and go through counseling, especially when they are threatened to disclose. So they will be troubled by that, and in future it can trigger, if not handled early enough, it can trigger them to have some mental disorders and would have not known what caused it. It also talks about gender-based violence. I think in homes, some do not resolve their differences, and maybe they are not compatible, and it can cause the other one to abuse the other, and especially those who suffer in silence and do not seek help, they end up having a mental illness, a mental disorder, because it's just more than what their psychology can take. So these are also some of the triggers to mental health illnesses. Substance abuse, I think we know that alcohol, excessive alcohol can lead to someone also having mental health disorders, and especially the strong substances really affect our health negatively. Substance abuse, we know there are different types. We have those injectable, we have the ones that are smoked, marijuana and the like, taken over time, and especially starting early and taken over time without control, it can be the trigger. So I hope that we've understood the triggers, and we'll be careful when we see ourselves in this situation and be able to handle them effectively, and when we need help, of course, we seek it. So for today, I end here on the common triggers of mental health. Thank you so much for listening, and this is Dr. Sadoki. Bye.
All right, mental health there from the doctors. This is something that Patrick and I are very passionate about. And a few days ago, Patrick, we were commemorating the Disability Day, and that also comes in with a lot of mental issues, because sometimes people may not accept their situations. For example, there are disabilities that come at a later stage, like you are able-bodied right now, maybe you are involved in an accident, God forbid, and then you become an amputee or something like that. You know, you become crippled somewhere, and then you fail to accept the situation. Mental issues come into play, and sometimes basically people who are disabled, for lack of it, I was corrected last time. You don't say persons living with disability. Yes, you say persons with disability. They go through a lot of mental issues. Yeah, Patrick. And
yes, and I was saying, Sharon, I was actually equally highlighting to say, especially journalists, or most journalists, they have a disability in that they are visually impaired because of they spend more time on the computers.
So what are you saying about me?
The eyes tend to be affected, even in the studios now. Too much light.
Too much light.
So most of the times you end up with those eye
issues. So
you become visually impaired. So the lesson we're just trying to get out of this is that if you're not disabled, you are potentially if you're not affected by a disability, you can be affected in one way or the other.
Exactly.
It depends. It just varies on the kind of disability. You understand? Like for me and Liswaniso Mwanarushi, he has a disability because he's too tall.
I too short.
I'm too short. Sometimes I cannot do some things that he can do. He cannot do things that I can do. He cannot get on a small bus. I can get on a small bus. He cannot get, and he gets on a big bus. You understand? So those are things we talk about around this. So sometimes, like you say, Sharon, you may be okay saying you don't even want to talk about issues pertaining to disability. Yeah. You say I'm comfortable, but you may be affected with an ear infection.
Exactly.
You become deaf.
Yeah.
You may you're affected by the stroke. You lose your speech. So all those things you tend to matter. So when we're talking about disability, it encompasses a lot of things, and mental health is one of them. A good topic there. You know, we have to be taking mental issues just as we take malaria, Sharon, because you find that at community level, people shun in terms of they're discussing issues pertaining to mental health or safeguard their relatives who are suffering from that condition. So let's also now look at how our kwacha is performing against other major convertibles.
Indeed, Patrick, the Great British Pound is buying at 20 kwacha 8 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 21 ngwe. The euro is at 17 kwacha 93 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 28 ngwe. The South African rand is at 0.99 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 0.01 ngwe. The United States dollars is at 17 kwacha 05 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 39 ngwe. Those are your money markets as of today, the 7th of December 2022. As we always say, these exchange rates vary from one financial institution to another, and therefore you may wish to check for the cheapest, convenient for your pocket.
Exactly, well said. And now let's talk about our topic of discussion, Madam Kalimbula.
Indeed, Patrick, let me just look through this story. It's a statement actually where President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA had sent it to the National Pension Scheme Bill, which provides for an option to claim one-off age benefits by a member under the prescribed minimum pension age of 36 under the existing fund. In a statement issued to the press by President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA spokesperson Anthony Walia, President HICHILEMA assented to the National Pensions Bill is a fulfillment of the United Party for National Development 2021 election campaign commitment to undertake cross-cutting NAPSA reforms to enhance value for money for contributors under the existing fund. The bill has also revised the penalty rate from 20% to 10% for delayed payment of contributions and provides for a waiver of penalties arising from delayed payment of contributions. This is the statement.
Yeah, now we'll be getting your views, our dear viewers, on this development there. It has been a long debate through and through, and for President HAKAINDE, I think it comes in as one of the fulfilled promises, considering that he assured that he will reform the NAPSA Act, and he has done just that. And there's an aspect of where you can get a part of your money when you are at the age of 36, and you can be able to invest it in some business, or if you are constructing a house somewhere, you can do that. So you can give us your views regarding what you think about this issue. Sharon, there's another interesting aspect. I heard you were reading about a waiver of penalties arising from delayed payment of contributions. Now, I want us to further interrogate this issue on the aspect of what remedies are there for NAPSA, for instance, to just ensure that they compel employers to ensure that they pay on time, or they remit their contributions on time, because the waivers were serving as a deterrent to in terms of abrogating the provision of the law, because you'd say, oh, to avoid the penalties, I'd rather pay. So that I do not do that. Now, what modalities are there to ensure that the employers remit the workers' contribution? So these are other developments that come with the new act, and I know they will be engaging NAPSA in recent days.
And just to have a conversation around this, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of, we have to unpack the bill, because we have so that people understand what is involved. You know, sometimes people may think just because it has been assented, you may
start claiming. Actually, maybe people are already queuing.
I understand that sometimes the law takes long to be implemented. So because according to what I also read, a statutory instrument has to be put in place to ensure that it actualizes some of the provisions.
Yeah.
So the Minister of Finance, NAPSA falls under Ministry of which ministry? Is it Finance?
Social protection.
Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Finance.
Also
The Minister of Labour, yes, the Minister of Labour, but the Minister of Finance is a major stakeholder. Yes, we have the Ministry of Labour, so they will be working on various statutory instruments to just actualize some of the provisions that have been put in place. So we look forward to just getting to know how this will be of benefit to the workers, because at the end of the day, we look at the interest of the workers, and we're looking at investments, and these investments, how are they coming? How
are people going to claim these resources?
Exactly.
Because really, a lot of us, you know, when we saw this, we got excited. There was a lot of excitement, counting the years, saying, okay, I've only got a few days, a few months, a few years. You can imagine, eh? I'm thinking it's days, it's months, it's years. But initially, it's years for me to actually attend this age where I can get part of my funds. I'm hoping that by then they will have tabulated the procedure of how this is going to be done. Because clearly, a lot of people have made contributions and they want their money. We pick that call and so fast. Hello, good morning.
Morning, thank you. How are you?
Fine.
How are you?
All right.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is James calling from Chongwe.
All right. Please go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead with your contribution.
Oh, yeah. I want to get some clarification. I don't understand the issue of the NAPSA amendment.
Okay.
Okay.
It is saying when you are
Yes.
part of your money.
Yes.
Now, there are those that are already 36 right now. Are they eligible to get their money? Or what really is it that it is saying?
Okay. As it stands,
yes, it's a very good
yes, that's exactly what we are talking about here, to say they need to put guidelines which will allow somebody to follow in order to get this money.
Yeah, so I think what it is that those who are 36 become eligible.
Yes, automatically.
Yes, once the law takes effect, they will become eligible automatically. But it's for Sharon and myself who are yet to attain that age. We will be waiting for that to get to the age of 36 and to be able to get the partial benefits. So if you are eligible, there is no way they are going to suspend to say you can only get at a certain age, because the law as accurately prescribed. I think they just put that threshold to ensure that there is you know that you are just starting your work, you want to get your partial benefit. But if you are 36 at the moment, you will be qualifying. But I understand that the law takes a little bit of time. It may take about 3 months before it is effectively
fully
implemented.
effected.
Yes. So as soon as it takes effect, if you are 36, you will be eligible.
Indeed, Patrick, as we wait for NAPSA to just give us more details on how this is going to be done, obviously they will give us a tabulation over the requirements, the procedure, and how long it's going to take for you to claim those benefits, because really it's not just about these funds, this is the money that we're talking about, and they need to transfer from this place to this place, and also NAPSA needs to organize its house in order to organize its house. Because remember, Patrick, I think at some point we had a conversation where we said people, these buildings, these houses that are built as NAPSA, I think they need to be given to people who are contributing there at a probably minimum rate. You know, all these were proposals that were flying around. But then
Yeah.
they need to also start looking at how do we give people money, because maybe the money is in assets.
Yeah, so
They don't have
again,
liquid
Sharon, I
cash,
think you
you know.
point out that when we're talking about social protection, we need to be very wide and vast as a country. You bring out a good aspect where NAPSA usually invests sometimes in housing development.
Yes.
So you are a worker and you are contributing to NAPSA, and you know there's a housing deficit in the country at the moment. So not everyone is owning a house. So some of the workers, for instance, who may want a house, they can be allowed, for instance, to be able to purchase a house towards their contribution.
Yes.
Whereby
Yes.
now they are topping up the money, and probably NAPSA is also taking cognizance to say this person is also saving with us their money. And if they reach a certain point, we'll be able to own this house. All those are issues that can come in terms of us being creative, in terms of ensuring that we achieve social protection that is inclusive, and especially when it comes to housing development, because sometimes it becomes a very huge challenge, especially at retirement, because you find that in the past people wanted to own a house upon retirement. You'd be renting all this while, and when you retire, that's when you want to buy a house, because you have this lump sum you can go and pay and buy a house. But at the moment, people are doing it proactively.
Things are different.
So that you can be able to, while you are working, you are also working towards
4 or 5
your
houses.
goals. You have, if your goal is having a house, those schemes need to be developed so that people are helped to achieve their potential. Because that's probably, when you are working, you're looking forward to something. So you can't be working and not looking out for something, because you say, I want to own a farm. You start the process little by little. So this is quite a pronouncement that President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA made while in opposition, to ensure that NAPSA reforms are undertaken to ensure that workers are able to get part of their money while they are still working. And also there was a pertinent issue pertaining to the issue of penalties. The penalties were said to have been hindering the growth of companies, in that the companies were accruing a lot of debt, and as a result of that, we saw companies closing because on account of failing to service the NAPSA, they failing to limit resources to NAPSA. So you'd find that a company is owing too much, and what they can do is take their assets, or probably fail to run and just park, you know. So, but this law now provides for a waiver where the NAPSA can actually just say, okay, we are waiving the penalties.
10%,
so
it
let's
has been reduced to 10%.
Yeah.
And also, there are no penalties if you delay. But then that's also a bigger question that needs a lot of understanding and a lot of explanation from NAPSA, because really penalties compel people to do certain things, like you mentioned. If at all I'm left to just be free, without rules, without laws, really, are you sure I'm going to give you that money?
Yes.
Because you know, I got the Ngongole from you, like credit, you know, a loan, a small loan. We agree, you know, I'll pay you back on this date. But Narab Shapo, I want you to remind me.
Yes.
You know, I want you to say, Sharon, you know, that money, you know, in capital letters. I think that happened to me a few days ago, where I reminded someone in capital letters without me realizing, not knowing that it actually means a lot of emphasis. But that wasn't the case. So really, if you do not put those measures in place, people would always default. People will always default. So we want to understand as well on the part of NAPSA, what are those measures that they've put in place that will ensure that people pay up that 10% that has been put forth, that has been reduced from 20 to 10%, because really most of the companies have had a challenge of paying the backlog of people, and they end up saying, "E company inayamba manje manje na mawekers." Meanwhile, the company has been in existence for like 10, 15 years, but they will just say, "Nipa minute inayamba," and they will actually do away with your contracts as a worker, because they want to eliminate the idea that you've been working for that institution for a long time. Instead, they'll give you a new contract, which may work against you as an employee. You get the sense. because you have nothing to claim at the end of the day when it comes to you and that institution, because they'll say, okay, this is when you started work. We'll forgo everything that you did before because we'll have to pay NAPSA, we'll have to do this. They'll give you all this huge explanation that you probably may not even understand. We've seen these things happen. So this is progressive, but we need guidelines on how it's going to be done for it to be successful. Otherwise, it may just be one of those things on paper. However, every day somebody is turning 36, and you know what that means.
Interesting.
Every day.
What other story are we zooming in?
Some of the stories that we had yesterday were former employees of Mushe Milling in Lusaka Tuesday stormed ZCCMIH offices demanding for their 5 months unpaid salary arrears. Henry Kalolo tells Camnet News that since the company was liquidated by ZCCMIH, all over 80 employees have lost their jobs and that they are owed thousands of kwacha in unpaid arrears. Mr. Kalolo adds that most of the former workers are suffering as they have been chased out of their rented houses due to non-payment, and the others have been forced to send their families to live with their relatives as they have no sources of income. Meanwhile, ZCCMIH Corporate Affairs Manager Loisa Mbata, when contacted, said her organization takes pride in the welfare of the employees and that it is working to address the issue. Prudence should have found this report. Let's look at it, and we will also look at the story back to back where Ikelengi Town Council has been castigated for failing to deliver development to the people despite government giving the local authority over 33,740 kwacha out of the 25.7 million kwacha being total allocated for the 2022 Constituency Development Fund. Let's look at these two stories.
Of ZCCM investment holding strategic intent to participate in agriculture and agro-processing. The company went on to acquire 100% shareholdings in Mushe Milling in 2019 and all seemed well. However, the strategic intent has been short-lived as some former Mushe Milling employees claim the milling company has been liquidated and over 80 employees have lost their employment. These are some of the former Mushe Milling employees who Tuesday stormed ZCCMIH offices demanding that they be paid their 5-month salary arrears, adding that they have been chased from their homes due to non-payment of rent, while others have had to send their families to live with their relatives.
So inapoyapezeka kuti company vaichita liquidate and ma salaries so anatipasi manyumba ya renti vatichosa manyumba ya renti tipezeka vana so apa wagona panja vana makatundu nionana kunana so na mvula makatundu sizo vanakoenda kozi pano pamene mutiona muone wonse pano palibe oina palibe olounga kulibe kumanyumba wakazi vanataba venango apatigona panja so chabe so wakazi venango vanaenda kuwa family so chabe vana kuchita tumiza mwa family manje tizankala bwanji
ikwetu achura sana okufuma mu August ila kuli 5 months no pay tulepo abatu akweko tulelala pansi bali tampya manda chakule ko twingaya so the TCM a big company yako bati ingalole chapali fitule chulo price akho.
These former employees have since appealed to the head of state, President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, to see how best it can compel management at ZCCMIH to pay them their dues and also find a way in which they can be transferred to other companies.
So please, we are appealing to the government of this country, because this is the government institution and they need to help us in one way or the other, because we are Zambians and we cannot be treated like this, because we are in the hands of the government and this institution is being run by the government, and we need to be given the money and we need to also be put into consideration. So as we are waiting for the liquidation.
Yes. And ZCCMIH Corporate Affairs Manager Loisa Mbata, when contacted for a comment, told this reporter that a company puts the welfare of its employees first and that it is working at resolving the matter in the soonest possible time.
So ZCCM received a letter from the Mushe board with a request looking to consider the plight of the employees. As you know, Mushe Milling has been facing a lot of liquidity and operational challenges, and they've been unable to get enough cash to take care of their operations. So it's obviously as a company, as a parent company, as a majority shareholder, we employee welfare is of paramount importance. We are looking into that issue. To be communicated soon.
For now, these employees have vowed to keep sleeping at the gate of ZCCMIH offices until their dues are paid.
And we are demonstrating this peacefully.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
To me, you'll be fired. You have to improve. You'll be gone. I would rather all of you are gone and remain with one person. Before this, councillors, they used to go on the committee to go and buy materials and we were very effective. All these roads you are using there, the money we are using very little. We were very effective. Your MP here, for the fourth time, does not get any. I will never come to solicit and give me something for my vape for this from CDF. I've never done that. It's embarrassing. You are educated and me uneducated. Who can cheat me here? That was teaching my masters at university. Who can tell me? I'm a lawyer. You cannot say you are more educated, even if you are educated. If I cannot say you are educated, my mother is not uneducated, then I say, get out. You are not educated. No, I'm uneducated on behalf of my mother. You are here on behalf of the public and Zambia. If people still got mentality of PF, no, PF is gone. If you are brought here in terms of cannibalism, I'm not entertaining that. Nobody, you are civil servant, public servants, deliver. You should even accord more respect, due care when I'm not there than when I'm here. I monitor, it pains me. You take advantage because it's fun. I'll talk to the president to allow me whatever time you have a council, the CDF meeting. And this 21 million, we have to spend it. We have to approve the projects. And the tractor, I'm not saying it, I want you to follow the procedure.
Elijah Mchima there.
Yeah, it was quite tough on the man.
Despite not having a voice.
Yeah, but you heard it, eh?
But I heard what he said. He was on fire. You know?
Yeah, but quite genuine concerns he has
genuine concerns, yeah.
Yeah, on the utilization of CDF. He feels the officials at the council there have been too slow in terms of implementing CDF or utilizing CDF resources, and about 21 million remains unutilized, while people in the area are in need of services. These are stories that we have been talking about frequently. You know, you always wonder to say, why are you failing to move up and about when we had only 1.6? People used to move using the same gravel road and everything, but now there's an improvement. We even have some roads somewhere. You don't want to move. Yeah, we are still struggling.
Yeah, like we had an interview with one of our sources. We haven't used it yet, but he was saying the issue of the council having a lot of money in their accounts is a breeding ground for corruption and lawlessness.
Yeah.
Because you cannot allow the council to carry over the money. It's actually disturbing the whole process of a financial year. He cited the Auditor General. They're making they're doing a report. Why are they carrying over the money? Is another question. Let's pick the score. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Oh, this is Mike calling from Mongi.
Yes, please go ahead with your contribution.
All right, sorry to take you back. The money was a bit big when I wanted to contribute on the NAP Act issue.
No,
the point where I read you say that perhaps one of the regulations could be where you attain the age of 36. How about those that get to start working at 36 or 37? Then what happens to them? Because it means they will not have worked for any year. And then they just start collecting or they start claiming. Is it going to be like you attain a certain age or you wait for a certain minimum number of years?
Okay.
That's my question.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So what has happened is that just to also provide further feedback is that they will be working on a number of statutory instruments. So the new act has been done in that it provides room for the minister to draft statutory instruments that conform to the demands of the people or the will of the people. So what happens is that, for instance, the 36 threshold was assumed that, for instance, you start work at 18 or 19 or 21 years. By 36, your money would have accumulated to something significant. And he brought out a very valid and perspective point in that he's thinking ahead of some of the eventualities. The eventuality that he put across is that what if you are 36 and you start to contribute today. So for me, I think it will be about whether the prescribed funds have accumulated. For example, if you are 36, I don't think it will be ideal for you to go and get your 1 pin that you have saved within when you're just starting your work.
What are you claiming?
And claiming it, yeah. So for me, I think that way it becomes a bit challenging, because so you are 36, so probably you're just starting your work at 36. It will be at by the time it is you are 60 or 65. That's the actual time of you retiring. You'll be eligible for that time to get that other money. So like for the specifications, the NAPSA will be working on those specifications on requirements for one to fit into that bracket to say you qualify to get part of the lump sum. But if you are 36, you have worked up to 40, up to 40. Your money would have accumulated to something that you can utilize. So I think also the idea of you getting the money, like I also explained that it's not that Sharon wants to go and buy that other Peruvian. You have to. It's the money that they usually encourage that you invest it in something. Yeah, because I've seen your appetite for these hairs you have.
Hair is an investment, Patrick. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Hair is an investment.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever.
It's a great investment.
Whatever. but that's the issue. So for our viewers there, so Prudence Trota will be doing the strict business for breakfast. So we are working on something that we are going to package to just make sure that we provide those specifications and get and what NAPSA is going to do.
And we'll also look into details, the advantages of this, the disadvantages of this, and obviously by then we will get a clear roadmap from the body responsible for all these pension schemes, just for us to get a full understanding. Remember, this is a statement that was issued late last night, and people are still digesting. They're still trying to understand exactly what it is, and not all information has been released insofar as this is concerned. So basically, this morning, we're just trying to look at whether we understand exactly what this thing is. But clearly, Patrick, from the calls that we've received, there's huge appetite for more information on this, and we will push the agenda and ensure that we get the information and bring it to the public. However, you too can take this opportunity and talk to us and give us your perspective on this. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sharon. This is Mwale.
Yes, Mr. Mwale. Yes.
I just wanted to contribute over the issue of NAPSA.
Yes.
Because a lot of people did know ask about the issue of partial payments. And let's go back to analysis of partial payments. Because in that, if someone has to obtain the full payment, someone needs to pay about 180 times. You know? So that means that if your basic is so fixed, then it was like that the amount that the employer gives you, that's about 15 times, 180 times, that's about 7 times. So 7 times 20% of that amount, that is 22,000 well. That is someone who's getting about 6. Now it's coming down to someone who's getting about 5 feet. That is about 6 feet. So what can you invest in that money? What can you do invest in that money? In the end, what can you invest in it? So this issue of NAPSA, as much as we all want to see that a good thing, but in reality it's not actually giving us anything on our benefits. The NAPSA contribution is a very small amount of money that we and everyone contribute. But in terms of getting the full benefits from it, it is really something that we all need to look at it. You know, the purpose why that is last time made done. So in as much as we appreciate the possibility the assessment of the bill into law, but in terms of on the ground, that money is a very small amount that you can actually get at the end of the day. The first thing for someone who gets the first thing, basic job thing, we get 22,000 back. What can you do with that money? You have to invest. First, you do the house in 22,000. You have to have a better business in 26,000. So for me, I feel it's getting much more better with getting at the end of the day when we are unable to contribute when we are able. Thank you very much. Wonderful, Mr. Wesley.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mwale.
Did a good analysis.
Good math there, Mr. Mwale. Were you using a calculator? I'm thinking.
Yeah.
He's very sharp, actually.
Yeah, Mr. Mwale gave a very good scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was using a calculator. Let me not praise him so much. Mr. Mwale, much like on calculator.
Yeah. So, but if you see, Sharon, it's also at the end of the day, it may not even be something to be excited about, especially for low-income earners, like Mr. Mwale is putting it.
If you're getting at 30,000, okay, on how many years was he basing that calculation on?
So you pointed that you have contributed, for example, is it 180 times?
Okay, 180 times. So that's
but again,
like,
and you are at the salary of 5p. And
so you will have contributed about 22,000 kwacha, 30 something?
36,000.
36,000 kwacha, and you're not getting the full amount. You're getting partial.
Now, what can you invest in?
You're getting
that
partial payment
in that.
from that. So according to Mr. Mwale, you can only even build a house in 36,000 kwacha.
And even those that are above that, where when he calculated the aspect of
12,000.
Yes, getting the 72,000 kwacha. So now 72,000 kwacha, you can buy a house as well. You can do much with it.
Mr. Mwale Mwanti, you're an accountant too,
Again, Sharon. I think this can only bring excitement, probably to those huge contributors.
Yes.
But
then at the same time,
if you are earning, most of the people.
But then at the same time, NAPSA, I hear you can only go up to a certain amount. You cannot pay overboard, regardless of how much you get.
But they also go into there's a maximum contribution rate. So those who are under the maximum, probably they
so you really, it's not even a lot of money as people would perceive.
But my thinking for me, my thinking, Shan, was that NAPSA, the way it invests in those things, the worker should have been getting their money with the interest.
Yes.
So that your money multiplies.
I think that's what is missing in this statement.
Your money should be multiplying when you are getting it. You are getting something worth.
Not same amount. I think that is broad daylight.
So you find that most of the times, most of the things, our monies are used for administrative purposes.
Yes.
And not that we should enjoy the money because.
No.
So when we look at how we are
you're literally saving,
issues,
you're forced to save the money without interest. You know, if you were putting that money in the bank or you invest it in a lucrative business, it's not going to be the same at the end of the day. But then when you're paying with NAPSA, you're forced, to contribute. You're forced by law to contribute, but at the end of the day, you get the same amount.
So let's also before we
pick that core, Patrick, we were talking about CDF contributions, CDF money, and I was talking to you about a source who said it is imprudent for us as a country to allow the councils to hold huge sums of money and carry over to the next financial year. He mentioned the issue of the Auditor General who are completing the cycle this December, and obviously they're doing everything possible to calculate and tabulate. How do you move forward with money that was supposed to be for this year into next year? And again, next year they will receive that other lump sum. That is total chaos.
There's a certain name in this community that I've been hearing, that Bari Amanga. I hope you understand what I mean. Like people are afraid that if you misappropriate these resources.
But there's always a loophole. but there's always a loophole.
Yeah.
There's always a loophole. When there's this is a stash of money that is just there. Nashika la fempia. Kuikongwesha. Patrick, you and I are aware of the issue of that money which disappeared this post office and it reappeared. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Kitwe.
Kitwe, you are Madam?
Yes, madam, I just want to find out on this issue of the NAFTA.
Yeah.
When is it? Or when is it going to be effective?
Yes, when I want to that this is the money. Because some of the information about it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So what we are going to do? Yes, so tomorrow we are working on the NAPSA perspective on the budget. We'll compile all the details that are necessary for us to provide to you. We are also getting in touch with their public relations unit to just ensure that they avail, they respond to these questions, the questions that have come forth.
You know, they're having meetings from one meeting to another just to see how they can sit down with technocrats, find a clear roadmap on how this is going to be done. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm going to
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
I want to find out about this NAFTA. I'm just working and I'm 44 years. I want to say more.
Okay. Yeah.
We are jotting down. I think we are jotting down your concerns, and those are the questions that we will ask the authority to respond to us. But as it stands, we couldn't get through to them.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you mentioned the other aspect about him. He's already 40.
He's retired. He's 44.
Is he eligible? He just has to get it. He has to get.
But initially, it was about.
He doesn't have to wait up to 56. Up to 60.
With this law, you don't need to wait.
You don't need to wait.
You don't need to wait. You're already eligible. But
since he says he's not working,
NAPSA has a lot of work to do.
They have a lot of work to do. You know, the NAPSA is one institution which compels every one of us. We are stakeholders in it.
Yeah.
I think it's an institution with the money.
Yes.
It has money.
Money.
Yes, that is for
NAPSA and was it there ever?
Yeah.
No, things like that.
Yeah.
The money. You know.
Yeah.
When you look at Zesco.
Every day we deduct your money, Sharon, it goes to them.
Imagine it. By force. We don't find out about the fire. But then you know there's like Mr. Mwale, I'm going back to what he said, there's need for people to understand and be convinced whether they want this money or not. Quite all right, we've got different preferences, we've got different priorities, and we've got different understandings of these things. So if you want your money and you're fully convinced you're going to use it better, regardless of how small it is, get it. It's your money. But at the same time, it's always good to heed to advise. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Madam. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Chizalombe. I'm Bonnet.
All right, Mr. Henry, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, Madam. This law has been enacted now. It is law. Does it mean now today we people can start queuing at NAPSA offices?
No.
Not yet. All right,
not today.
Not today. So again, I'm aware, Sharon, because we were dealing with a similar law in the pension sector. Yes, the Pensions Act is we have the amendments. We have a new law governing the pension sector, but it is not yet effect. So for a law to take effect,
it takes time.
It takes a little bit of some time. So it may take 3 months or maximum, probably even a year. But 3 months, because they also have to put in place modalities and make adjustments and everything. So even NAPSA now, what they are doing at the moment, they have to put in place those modalities and even prepared for the were prepared for the money to be giving the workers. They see which strategy, which streams are they using to ensure that everything is in order. So for now, you cannot queue up because they have to put in place modalities to ensure that they just make sure that everything swiftly moves, so that everything goes according to the intended plan of ensuring that these amendments were undertaken. So that's why, like we said, we will be liaising with the public relations unit. We have taken note of every question that has been asked on this platform. That's why we wanted to get it from you, our dear viewers, because we understand it is you, the workers, who know what is affecting you, or who knows what are some of the loopholes that you have identified. And those loopholes will present them to the authorities to ensure that they address them, because at the end of the day, they owe it to you and I to ensure that they provide information on how we are going to go about this. We are because it is beyond just thinking about partial payments.
It's beyond
what we call T's and C's.
Yes.
Terms and conditions apply. So now we have to go into the terms and conditions to just make sure that we are all on the same page. Because talking about partial withdrawal is one thing, but what are the terms involved? Are you, when you are just 36, are you going to get?
Is there a specific period that you need to have contributed for you to get that money? Because you cannot just contribute for 3 months and then you go and claim your benefits. Or what are you claiming in the first place?
So that's why there's a provision that allows that you have made probably about 180 contributions.
Yes.
So you just starting work, have you made those contributions? The answer is no. So you have to go up to a certain level of contribution, then you become eligible. So these are modalities that will be unpacking to ensure that we move on the same page. And awareness creation on this subject is very important, because NAPSA governs a huge constituency of workers. We have quite a number of workers that are interested in this issue. Also remember, Sharon, we're not just talking about NAPSA having workers in the formal sector. NAPSA now has workers in the informal sector who are making contributions.
Yes.
So what about the informal sector? We understand that the informal sector package is minimal compared to the formal sector. So now, what does it mean for the informal sector? What strategies, what modalities are there to ensure that they understand and fully participate in this whole discourse around the recently enacted National Pensions Scheme bill? So the bill now is law since the president appended his signature, and we're just waiting for the law to take effect. It will take a little bit of time, but we'll be informed eventually to say the law has taken effect. You can now go and queue
up. Yeah, indeed. For everything that has been put forward, it takes time for it to be actualized, and therefore I think it will be prudent of us to be very patient. Equally myself, I'm counting the years to reach 36 and just get that money and buy the hair. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, madam.
Yes, please. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'm calling from Samba.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to find out, like this bill, just for NAPSA, what about those who are under public pension schemes?
Okay.
Those NAPSA for government workers, it covers those who started work after 2002. Yes, now, the others, like the defense, security, and those started before that year, they are under public service pension fund.
Okay.
That bill only for NAPSA only, or covers even those who are under...
So the straightforward answer... Yes. So the straightforward answer, sir, to you is that the act is only for those who fall under NAPSA. For those who are under the public service pensions fund, it does not you do not qualify for this partial withdrawal. So if that has to be done, then that other law also has to be done, because that is also a separate entity. It is also a pension house on its own, and NAPSA is a pension house on its own. But NAPSA usually has a larger because it encompasses both the public and the private sector. Yes, so you'd find that no wonder probably emphasis was on the NAPSA. But if the people who are part of that scheme, you also want similar reforms under that other pension scheme, that can equally be done.
Your unions need to start pushing.
Yes.
You're speaking as if you're President HH. You say that can equally be done.
Yes.
All right, so that is actually the best response that we can give on our end. This law is specifically for NAPSA, and those under the other pensions fund will also have to push the agenda and speak to the president through these platforms, through different forums, and see to it that what they need as well is done.
All right. So let me just, before we proceed further, we need to get our viewers updated, Sharon, on the World Cup. You know, it has been going on. I hope you have been also watching.
I just saw Morocco yesterday on the status. I was like, what is happening?
You said something correct.
Morocco and what? Spain? Yes. Morocco and
Spain. We pick that call before we do our sports recap.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Please tell us your name.
Yes, I'm Sima Boston calling you from Dola.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was just trying to find out at the percentage. Percentage for the partial money which will be given to the grant, to town.
Okay, Patrick.
Okay. So for I think the discourse has been around half of your money. You cannot get everything. So you can get half or even less than that of your money. That has been the discourse. So you can. That's why even our previous caller, Mr. Mari, indicated that if you get half of that, how much can you invest? You understand that? That's what was putting it across. Because if you have 36,000, you
half of that is about 15
So
or 16.
How much of that can you spend?
It's just for hair.
Yeah. So But do you want to spend, this point, do you want to spend money on that? Yeah. No. We take note of it. So on the percentage aspect. So we are going to as of Friday, we quite have union leaders or union representatives, so that we also get their perspective. You know, talking about something just on paper, maybe it may seem flowery, but let's get to understand what is hidden there. So if we get
devil
the
is in the detail, as they say.
Yeah.
So we will look at the details and see if there's a devil somewhere in there and bring it out.
Let's have the sports there. We had games that were being played, Madam Kalimbula, in the round of 16. And we look at the games that were played. Let's look at, we had Croatia, who played against Brazil. Brazil was a better side in this match. They managed to win the game convincingly there against Croatia. Also, we had Japan up against. Sorry, the one I was giving you earlier was about the match that will be played. I'm just going to go back to I'm going back to the actual screen that I was supposed to have been looking at. Now, looking at the round of 16, we had Japan up against Croatia, and this match ended 1-1, and the Croatia progressed through penalties, which they won 3 goals to 1. And also in the round of 16, we had Brazil up against South Korea. They managed to win this match by 4 goals to 1. And that's the match against South Korea in the round of 16. So we also have Morocco up against Spain, and Morocco. This game was quite a mouth-watering encounter, in that Morocco is the only African team that has progressed to the round of 8, and in that they managed to contain Spain in the regulation time, with the match ended goalless, and they only won via penalties, and which they won by 3 goals to 0. The goalkeeper for Spain, for Morocco there, was outstanding and saved the day. And Portugal outshined Switzerland in a match that they played as of last night. This match ended 6-1. It was quite an interesting encounter there. And let's also look at how the round of 8 is looking at. This is the quarterfinals now. We have 8 teams that have remained in this group. We have Croatia, Brazil, Netherlands, Argentina, Morocco, Portugal, England, and France. So in the first game that will be played, it will be on Friday. And that is a match between Croatia and Brazil. Brazil will be looking for a 60th title, because they are for another fresh title rather. They are a team that has been winning the World Cup more than any other team in the world. So they, however, in recent years, favor has not been on their side, in that other team have outshined them, especially France, and they are lucky they are not meeting them in the quarterfinals. So we are looking at Croatia up against Brazil. This is on Friday. Also, the Netherlands will be up against Argentina on the same day, and on Saturday we are going to wind up the quarterfinals with Morocco up against Portugal, and England versus France. England versus France is also a match to watch, in that it will be interesting, considering that both teams have been playing quite a good football. So this is an update on the World Cup that is ongoing. You can do your prediction on which team is going to win the World Cup. We also announce a prize for you, courtesy of me and Sharon Karimbula. If you guess it,
why are you giving me a bill? But anyways, indeed, you can do your predictions insofar as which team you think will win the World Cup. I'm not sure. I'm not so much into this football thing. But yesterday I saw a lot of people posting on their statuses and the Facebook pages, Morocco, Morocco. I was like, oh, okay, I had to say Morocco as well.
So Morocco has done
Africa proud, and we're rallying behind. Is it the only team surviving so far?
So far, yes.
The only African team? Wow.
We have the South Americans and the Europeans.
Wow. Wow. Anyway, Morocco, we are behind you, and we hope that you carry the day. It would be amazing. And this is like the first time they are reaching this round, not so?
Yes, for them, yes, you're right.
For them, so it's a great achievement.
It is.
It's beautiful, it's brilliant,
it is.
And people really didn't expect them to beat Spain.
I just don't want to over-expect, because the other time we over-expected an African country going there, they disappointed. So we just
but that's what patriotism means, Patrick. That's what patriotism means. You know, people will always say, you know, Zambian football, what. But you know, when Zambia is playing, regardless of whether you're watching or not, when you hear the car, but you know, when they are playing again, you know, you may not watch necessarily, but you want to find out exactly what the scores are. You know, when you hear the car, you go like, Talonga. You know, so that is patriotism. Equally, even Morocco, you may not have those expectations, but when Morocco is playing, you'll be very excited to see an African team that looks like whites playing and you know, rallying behind it, you know. So really, that is what we have on the football front there. We are still looking at the story of the bill, National Pensions Scheme bill, which is now law, and we are just winding up the show. To everybody who has caught us through, thank you so much. We will take note of all the questions that were sent even on our social media platforms, and we'll ask the relevant authorities, and we'll bring to you the answers to those questions if they give us. But we are pushing them, and we are very certain, Patrick, that they are also on their toes trying to draw up what these regulations are, just to make people understand. It's going to be a very busy 2 weeks, obviously, for them, trying to explain to the people who qualifies and who doesn't qualify, because really there needs to be a threshold of how long you've contributed for you to get the money. It's not just about waingira lero nchito bakulembesha na napsa company ulesenda passion what passion are you getting? So those are things that we need to understand, and to everybody who has contributed, to everybody who has done the math to understand this, We appreciate your viewership and your explanation to this, Patrick.
Interesting, you have said it all. We can only continue to wish our viewers a very good day, because they have been helpful and they have been contributing quite well on the program, and we do not take their perspective on for granted. We always remember, as Camnet TV, we are always a channel for that of choice that seeks to represent the people's interest. Until tomorrow, when we come with another interesting episode of the Camnet Breakfast, Governance, Policy and Politics, with me, Patrick Soko, and Sharon Kalimbula, we say
Camnet TV is not just another channel.
I have to read it.